Yo guys, welcome back to another breakdown. In this breakdown, I'm going to be breaking down this full card that's coming up this Friday. We got PFL semifinals for heavyweight, light heavyweight, and also middleweight on this card. We have in the main one we got Fabian Edwards taking on Joel Silveira. If you guys aren't familiar with Fabian Edwards, he is a brother, the blood brother of Leon, the former UFC welterweight champion, Leon Edwards. He's taking on Joel Silveira, who's training out of American Top Team. Should be a good matchup there. Good stylistic matchup. Fabian is a striker, whereas Silveira is going to be bringing in that wrestling pressure. In the co-main, we have another typical striker versus grappler or wrestler matchup. We got Phil Davis, who came back at 40 years old off a huge layoff and knocked out Rob Wilkinson. I believe he was the first one to knock out Wilkinson in the PFL. So that was highly impressive from Phil Davis because we haven't really seen a lot of KO power from Phil Davis, like one punch knockout power. So it was really nice to see that from Phil Davis. And he's taking on Sullivan Cauley, who's coming off a win over first round TKO win over Alex Polizzi. We also got Sergio Pettis, former Bellator champion Sergio Pettis, taking on Ruffian Stots. That should be an interesting matchup there. We also got Dalton Rosta rematching with Aaron Jeffery. These guys fought each other back I believe it was 2 years ago. So they were going to be running it back on this card. And we also have some pretty interesting fights on the prelims. We got Shoeface, Carlo Jr. taking on the surging striker in Simeon Powell. That should be interesting for sure. We also got Moldavsky taking on Alexander Romanov, the former UFC heavyweight top 15 contender, Alexander Romanov. We also have on this card Muhammad Ali's grandson, Biagio Ali Walsh, and obviously the people trying to build them up slowly. They're taking their time with Ali, so he's gonna be on this card. We should see a good fight here. Nascimento also came over from the UFC. I believe he made his PFL debut on the same card with Alexander Romanov, and they both ended up winning on that card in their PFL debut. So that was nice to see. He's coming off that win over Babley, where he was able to kind of edge the fight out at like towards later rounds. Really never impressed by Nascimento, but he's gonna be taking all like Popov. So let's start the breakdown, guys. Make sure you guys smash the like button and subscribe. And also, we're coming off a winning PFL card. Last week, we're coming off a winning PFL card the week before, so we do pretty well in these PFL cards. I post my bets for free every week, and you guys can check those bets. I have some action on this card. I also have action UFC 317. So you guys can check those bets on the upcoming next upcoming week. So let's talk about this fight, man. We got Rafael Xavier taking on Albrektsson. And this should be an interesting fight. Albrektsson, what's crazy is Albrektsson went from beating guys like Nemkov like 10 years ago to then beating the 2024 light heavyweight champion Dovlet Yuxi to now he's losing to guys like journeymans like Chuck Campbell and LFA, who's a former LFA fighter, and he's not been looking good, man. Albrektsson has not been looking good at all. His last win obviously was over the 2024 PFL light heavyweight champion Yuxi who hasn't lost a fight since losing to Albrektsson. And he has faced a much better level competition, right? He even out there beat Victor Nemkov also. I mean, so he's got some notable wins on his record. And I do think he can win this fight, man. But I don't know if I can trust the chin anymore. He's been knocked out back to back now, and the durability, the damage that he's taken in the last like 6 months does worry me a lot. He took some nasty elbows from Simeon Powell. He was knocked out brutally, and Xavier has shown to have a lot of knockout power. So if Albrektsson goes out there, isn't a striking match, but Xavier doesn't really go out there and grapple often and doesn't mix it up. I could see him getting knocked out early in the first round, but if he does manage to mix in the wrestling and the grappling and kind of drag this fight towards the later rounds, I do see Carl Albrektsson taking over. So Early upside goes towards Xavier winning this fight by KO, and the later rounds goes towards Albrektsson. I think he can take over later, so I think I'm gonna go with Xavier early first round KO. The guy has a lot of power. He's at this point, I think he's the more durable fighter. The only thing he struggles with is cardio. He's 2-7 to the when fights are going the distance, and that's never really the best sign. But I've seen enough KO power from him, so I'm gonna go with him. But I don't know if I want to trust him with the bed. He's coming in at minus 135. I am gonna go Xavier by KO first round. I think he knocks him out early. Let's move on, guys. Next fight on the card is going to be Rodrigo Nascimento taking on Oleg Popov. Now, this could be one of the most boring fights on the card, man. Because Nascimento's like has to be one of the most boring heavyweights I've ever seen compete across any MMA organization. And Popov also is probably like slightly more entertaining to watch than Nascimento because he just goes out there, does more every round pretty much. This is probably gonna come down to like who's gonna do more in this fight because I don't know if I see Popov finishing Nascimento. I honestly don't see Nascimento finishing Popov. They're both really tough. Um, I could see Popov taking him down, beating him up, wrestling Nascimento, but that's not going to be easy. And this could come down to the last like third round, pretty much. Like Nascimento's every fight that he goes the distance in, he's got so many split decision wins. I believe he has like 3 split decision wins. So like, if the fights go past the first, like he's not even dangerous early. Like he's got BJJ, he can grapple. He's a world like I don't think he's a world champion, but he does have a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's training at American Top Team. So that's the reason I picked him over Babley. But that fight was really close. I did think that he kind of edged Babley out in the later rounds, but really close fight. We did bet the over 2.5 rounds on that card. That was our only bet on that card about a month ago. We did cast over 2.5 rounds, and not over 1.5. It was over 2.5 rounds. We cast that at like minus 140. And that was a pretty easy read there. And I think this one goes over 2.5 rounds. But I'm gonna go with Popov to just do more every round, attempt more takedowns, do more damage maybe. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Popov by decision. I think it goes over 2.5 rounds. That's really parlayable when they drop the totals. Cloudbet has Nascimento plus 176. If you do want to bet on Nascimento, you think he can win, maybe like a close decision. His striking isn't really that impressive, but he does land elbows in the clinch. But I think Popov's gonna be the one pressuring forward, trying to do more every round. Also, Popov's last fight was really close. He took on Carl Williams, who came over from the UFC because the UFC cut him because he lost to United Knees because he didn't shoot any takedowns in that fight. Which is really suspect from Carl Williams. He said the UFC told him, the matchmakers told him not to wrestle in that fight because they found him really boring. So, I'm gonna go with Popov. I just think Popov's gonna just do more, and the judges are gonna. It's gonna come down to the third round, and in a close fight, I just see Popov just being the busier fighter out there, and just kind of edging it every round out. So my pick's gonna be Popov by decision. Next fight on the card, we got Muhammad Ali's grandson, Biaggi Ali Walsh. He's taking in Ronnie Gibbs, man. This is pretty much like a layup for him, Biaggi Ali Walsh. He's training over there at Extreme Couture, which I do like to see. He's been training over there for a couple of years now since he made his amateur debut in the PFL. So they've been building him up slowly. They're really taking their time, and he's gonna have the wrestling here to defend takedowns. Extreme Couture guys are not really known for their takedown defense. They don't get taken down often, and they don't really get held down often if they are taken down. And the striking is a lot better on the feet. I mean, the odds are like, what are the odds? Minus 1,500. I think it should be like minus. I think it should be minus 1,500. Honestly, I do. Because Gibbs he's only fought once in the last like 3 years almost, and I watched some of his fights. It's really not that impressive. Haven't seen a lot of KO power from Gibbs, and he's 31 years old now. Like it's not like he's 21, 22. So I think we're already seen what this guy's gonna like, how good he's gonna be at this point. and I think Ali Walsh is gonna run through him in the first round by KO. If they drop the totals they should drop the totals in the next few days. He's minus 1100 on a cloud bet. I think you can probably still. I don't know if I'll parlay that. I don't think I will. But even last week with the Rabadanab, we parlayed the under 2.5 rounds. That was an easy read on that fight card. But I'm gonna go with Ali Walsh obviously by KO under 1.5 rounds. Next fight on the card, we have Valentin Moldavsky taking on Romanov. Now this one's like a tricky one for me to like give you guys a really confident pick. Moldavsky training over there with the Fader team in Russia. He's well rounded. He can strike. He's got knockout power. We've seen him go out there, start onto Delhi. How he recently got signed to the UFC like a few weeks back, and that's honestly a really good win for Moldavsky now. But I feel like Romanov, if he can wrestle Moldavsky, which he probably can, I do think he can take him down. Can he submit him early? Because if he doesn't submit him early, I can see Moldavsky just kind of like doing more on the feed. Because he does have like, I feel like he does have better technical striking than Romanov. But Romanov, like he's underdog in this one, I believe he's underdog, right? Romanov coming in at minus plus 132. Man, this one's really close. Plus 141 on cloud bed. I'm gonna go towards Moldavsky. I feel like he's gonna win this one. Romanov, like his cardio isn't all that great, and he didn't finish Nascimento. He finished Tim Johnson. I mean, Tim Johnson is a complete bum. I think he should retire. Like I don't know why they still have him fighting in the PFL, honestly. But couldn't finish. I mean, no one can finish Bulgoy even up. I mean, no shame in that, obviously. But his cardio starts to fall off after the first round. He does have really nasty jiu-jitsu, and he's definitely dangerous from top position if he can get those takedowns on you. But I think Moldavsky can keep this fight standing and win. I'm going to go Moldavsky by it's minus 172. I mean, I don't think I'll bet that line, but I do see him winning this fight. Minus 167 with Cloud bet. I'm gonna go with Moldavsky to win. I don't even think he won that fight over Sergey Belosiny. We picked Sergey in that fight, and Sergey was, I think he doubled him up on striking numbers. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Moldavsky. But I think Romanov is definitely a live underdog here. Next fight on the card, we got Antonio Carlo Jr. taking on Simeon Powell. Now Simeon Powell is let me see if I can get my notes up here. So this is going to be a typical striker versus grappler matchup. If Junior can get those takedowns early and often, he can probably ride out rounds after round and just kind of like control them on the ground. And maybe even find a submission. If Powell can keep the standing, his chances of winning go up by a lot. And Junior doesn't have the best cardio, man. We've seen him slow down as of recent multiple times. He got really tired in that Moore fight. He got really tired in that Polizzi fight. And if Powell can get back to his feet and defend those takedowns, I do think he's definitely alive. He's definitely alive to find that KO. Now, Carlos hasn't been knocked out in a while, in a long time. He's really tough, really durable. He's been in UFC. He had a pretty positive UFC career with some wins over some guys. Like, I mean, half of these guys, I'm not even sure who they are. Because that was a lot. Marvin Tory win, I mean, back in 2016. That's got to be the best win that he has on his record. But Junior is going to be the much better grappler and not the better striker for sure. He's training at American Top Team. Also, Nascimento training at American Top Team. We got some other guys. I think Nascimento. Does Romanov train at? I don't think he trained. He doesn't train at American Top Team. Junior trains at American Top Team. Rosta training at American Top Team, and Silveira trains at American Top Team. So there's 4 of these guys training at American Top Team. This is a tough one, man. It's definitely a tough one because Powell, he does have a lot of KO power, but Junior ain't really chinny. He's not really chinny, but he does start to really slow down. But I can see him winning the first rounds, maybe. But I'm probably gonna go with Powell. I do think he can make him, if he is taken on early, if he doesn't get caught up in submission, he can probably get up to his feet and knock him out later. Powell -150. I'm gonna go with the Simeon Powell -147 on a cloud bed. I think Powell can keep this fight standing enough to like do a lot of damage to Carlos Jr. But Carlos Jr. definitely live for that submission if you get this fight. If you can get Powell to the mat, my pick's gonna be Powell by third round, maybe third round. I'm gonna say decision. I think Jr. is really tough. All right, guys. Next fight on the card. Now I do have action in this fight. I got Dalton Rosta. We've been cashing on this guy as an underdog. We took him again this week. Now this is obviously a rematch. I did bet on Rosta at -180 in their first fight, which obviously wasn't a smart bet. But I think if he paced himself properly, he could have definitely won that fight over Jeffery, and that was 2 years back. That was his only loss in his career. Now he's training over their American top team. We've seen him look incredible. His wrestling's been looking better. His control's been looking better. His cardio's been looking better, much better now. And we cast on him over Side we did pick the submission. I don't think I picked the submission, but I did think he's gonna have success wrestling Side Now Side has worse takedown defense than Jeffery, but we have seen Jeffery taken on, right? We've seen him taken on by Murad Ramazanov. Ramazanov just didn't really do much with the takedowns. That's his issue. That's why he kind of lost that fight. I still think he won that fight. We did bet on Ramazanov there, but the judges didn't give him that decision because he just wasn't really being effective in the clinch. And that's where Jeffery really shines at. In the clinch, he's got really nice knees in the clinch, really nice elbows. He keeps working, and he's really extremely durable. Never been KO'd. Only been sub by Brandon Allen back in 2019, I believe. Yeah, it was back in 2019 on Dana White Industries. So that's his only finished loss in his whole career. I do think this fight's going to go the distance. They're both really tough. I don't know if I see Rosta finishing it by submission. It's going to be a tougher fight than Sadibasi for sure. And the last time these guys fought, right, that was Rosta's toughest fight in his career. And I do think Rosta has gotten much better at this point than Jeffery. But Jeffery ain't going to make it easy on him. We took him at +155 for Rosta. He's still +1. I mean, he's still +1, -105, still a slight underdog now. I do think he still wins. I do think he's still a good bet at these odds. It's a 50-50 fight, and I can see Rosta banking 2 out of 3 rounds with his wrestling and control, and I think he's going to be one pressuring forward. Give me Rosta by decision. Next fight on the card, guys, we got Sergio Pettis taking a Ruffian Stots. Now, these guys are both Bellator fighters, and Stots has fought in the PFL a handful of times. He fought in, I believe, he fought Patchy Mix. I think he fought in Bellator. He fought Patchy Mix in Bellator, where he was knocked out with that knee up the middle from Patchy Mix. Nasty kill by Patchy Mix. And then obviously Sergio Pettis, we did pick him over Patricio Pitbull as a +150 underdog, I believe he was. And he did win that fight over Pitbull because Pitbull was like, he fights normally at 145. He's also fought at 155 in the past, and I just wasn't sure why he was dropping all the way down to 135 because that weight cut was brutal for Patricio Pitbull. And he hasn't been looking good recently, man. I watched this fight against Kyoji Horiguchi. In the first one, this was a rematch. In the first one, he was able to knock him out with a spinning, I believe it was a spinning back fist. In the 4th round, he caught him really good. And he still dropped him in the second fight in the 3rd round, but Kyoji Horiguchi showed really good recovery. He got back to his feet, and he was able to win that round by out-wrestling, I believe, or out-wrestling Sergio Pettis. I'm forgetting his name now. I apologize. This is a tough one, man, because Ruffian Stots, he's really good at striking. His wrestling isn't bad. His taking defense is really good. But I can see Sergio Pettis winning. And Stots, I'm not really sure if he's going to be able to, like, is he going to go out there and out-wrestle Sergio Pettis like Kyoji Horiguchi did? Kyoji Horiguchi, he's a flyweight. I mean, obviously, so 135. I think the flyweight is 135 in Ryzen, by the way. But Kyoji Horiguchi, he got signed to the UFC, I believe now. He was supposed to take on Tiggerland back up, but I'm not sure what happened, why he ended up pulling out from that fight. And we haven't seen him make his UFC debut just yet. Man, I want to go with Sergio Pettis so bad because I still think he has one more win left. And he can pull it off, man. They're both training at Rufus Sports Academy, which is really weird. So these guys are, I'm sure it'd be kind of weird if they're training out of the same team still for this fight. Man, like Stots wasn't looking good in that last fight either. It just Marco's completely gassed out. He was losing he lost the first round clear as day. Then he got that submission over Marcos because Marcos was extremely gassed. And then he beat Danny Sabatello. We did bet him up, bet him there in the spot over as a plus money over Sabatello. And Sabatello just if you can defend his takedowns and he's fighting someone that can strike, he struggles against those people. I want to go Sergio Pettis, man. I think Pettis can pull this one off by decision. Sergio Pettis plus 206 right now on Claude Bet. I'm gonna go Sergio Pettis. I think the line's kind of wide for Pettis. He still looks fine in the striking changes. I don't think he's completely gonna get blown out of the water. They're striking only. Now, if Stots does seem to, if he does mix in takedowns, then he can probably make this fight easier on himself. But I don't know if he's gonna mix in takedowns in that fight. I think he goes over 2.5 rounds, so this one's also gonna go the distance. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, man. We're gonna be breaking down this co-main event now. Phil Davis taking on Sullivan Cauley. Like I mentioned earlier, man, Phil Davis came back after almost 2 years off. He looked incredible, man. He wasn't looking good early. He had some ring rust in the first round, I believe. And then he was able to find that. I believe it was the overhand right that he found on Wilkinson and knocked him out brutally. Knocked him out, and he was the first one to knock him out in the PFL cage. I believe that he was the first one to knock him out because Wilkinson has shown to be really durable in the PFL. So knocking him out like that was very, very impressive. He can wrestle, man. His base is actually wrestling, and like he's actually like in the past he used to go out there and wrestle people. That's how he's won majority of his fights. Doesn't have a lot of KOs. I mean, like in the PFL, he made his PFL debut last time. I mean, I keep mixing up Bellator and PFL together. We've seen Sullivan Cauley go out there and knock out a Polizzi. He kind of was hitting him to the back of the head with those elbows. So, and the referees they have some of the worst referees in PFL officiating these fights. They just didn't do anything about it. But Polizzi was just kind of done, and he got that first round KO win over Polizzi. He's a sharp striker. He's quick. He's fast. But Phil Davis at 40 years old, man, doesn't really look like he's 40. He's not fighting like he's 40 years old out there, and he's fighting really close with some of the best guys we've seen in the Bellator cage or the PFL cage. I'm gonna go with Phil Davis. I'm gonna go by Phil Davis by. I'm gonna go decision. I think he can. I think he can out wrestle him, outwork him with the wrestling. He might finish him later too, but I'm gonna go with Phil Davis to win this one. Phil Davis minus 260. That line seems kind of accurate to me because he has wrestling, he has a knockout power on the feet. I don't think he's gonna get completely destroyed by Cauley, and he's not really chinny. Never been finished in I don't know how many, like 32 pro fights. Never been finished in the. Next fight on the card, guys, we got the main event of the evening. We got Fabian Edwards taking João Silveira. Now, Fabian Edwards, obviously, I did pick Impa Kasangane. I didn't bet on Impa there because I was kind of worried for him because Impa is a bit chinny, and his chin just didn't hold up in that fight. But Impa wasn't doing horrible early in that fight. He was landing shots. He was being effective, but he just wasn't the sharper striker in that matchup against Fabian Edwards. Now, Fabian Edwards has a really similar style like Leon Edwards. He's a decent kickboxer from range. He throws a lot of kicks, gives you different looks. He is really durable. He's only ever been finished, I believe, one time, and it was by ground and pound by Johnny Yablin in a 5-round main event. Now, other than that, he's never really been finished in any of his fights. He's taking João Silveira, who's training at American Top Team, and Silveira brings wrestling pace, pressure. He's going to be looking to wrestle in this fight. I just don't see him having enough success round after round to win this fight. I think Edwards is going to be too sharp of a striker. He's going to be landing those low kicks and those body kicks. And even if Silveira takes him down, I don't know if I see him holding him down for every round. And Silveira makes every fight kind of tough though, because he's really durable. He's never been finished in any of his fights before. Really good chin on him. So he ain't gonna make it easy on Fabian Edwards. But I am gonna go with Fabian by decision. I just think he's gonna do better in the striking chin. He's gonna be landing more damage. And we've seen as of recent, I mean, the referees and not the referee, the judges in PFO, they go with damage over control and grappling. We've seen that last week with the Kamidov and Magomedov fight. I did have a bet on Kamidov, and even though I think most of us thought that Kamidov won that fight, or majority of us, and but they gave it to the Magomedov because the crowd was booing like crazy, and they're fighting in Chicago. So if Silvera's out there trying to hold him down, I think the referee might stand him back up, and judges are obviously going to favor damage over control. Give me Fabian by decision. That's going to be my pick, guys. Fabian minus 600. I mean, I can't play that line minus 600, but he's going to win over 2.5 rounds. Really live. I would take the over if I was you guys. I think the over 2.5 rounds in the main event, over 2.5 rounds in the maybe not the over in the co-main, because that's a little tricky. Because Cauley is a bit reckless, and I don't know what his ground game's gonna look like. Still, if Full Davis takes him down, beats him up on the ground by ground and pound. He's definitely live for submission. I do like the over 2.5 rounds in the Rosta fight. I don't know about the over in the Simeon Powell fight. That's a bit risky, and they haven't even dropped the totals yet. I do like the over in the Sergio Pettis fight. I do like Sergio Pettis as an underdog. Under 1.5 rounds, and I think they're gonna drop the line out 1.5 rounds in the Ali Walsh fight. Take the under. Over 2.5 rounds in the Popov fight, and um, under 1.5 rounds or under 2.5 rounds in the Xavier and Albrektsson fight. And we had a really good fight on this card that was canceled. That I was really looking forward to. Jordan Newman, he was supposed to kind of take on another wrestler, in Khalid Murta Joliev, and his fight got canceled. Right, I don't know who ended up pulling out from this fight, but it was canceled. Not sure what the reasoning was behind it, but I am really high on Jordan Newman. Hopefully they remake this fight soon. So there you guys go, man. Those are my full card breakdown for PFL. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. And good luck on this card, guys. Again, you guys can see all my bets for free in the link down below in the description on this video. And join Discord. We have a really good Discord community. And I'll see you guys this Friday for this card. I will be live for this entire card this Friday. I believe it starts at about 8:30 p.m. So it's a really late night card, but we will be live for this card on Friday. So I'll see you guys there. On Friday, and also check out my UFC 317 breakdown. I did my breakdown last night for UFC 317, and we have some really good fights on that pay-per-view card this week coming up.